The first time I imagined the last battlefield of Avengers Doomsday, I didn't picture explosions, I pictured silence. A strange, empty silence where lightning refuses to strike. Because Thor has always been the loudest Avenger, thunder announces him before he even lands. But in this theory, the storm doesn't answer him anymore. I started connecting the dots from every hint Marvel quietly left behind. Not just the obvious power upgrades, but the emotional ones. Ever since he lost Asgard, his hammer, his eye, his family, and even the idea of home, Thor has been slowly detaching from the definition of a traditional god. And that matters. Because Norse mythology never treated gods as immortal forever. Gods had an ending. Ragnarok wasn't destruction, it was transition. And in Doomsday, I think Thor faces the same choice: survive as a warrior, or transcend into something that no longer fights wars at all. When I went back to Love and Thunder, the biggest clue wasn't the villains or the jokes. It was eternity. The film quietly revealed that godhood in the MCU isn't the highest state of existence. There's something beyond it. Thor stood in front of a being that didn't rule, didn't conquer, didn't even react emotionally. Eternity simply existed outside the cycle of death and rebirth. That moment reframed everything for me. Thor didn't just save a child. He witnessed the ceiling of his own power. And he didn't try to become that being. He walked away. But that's exactly why it matters now. Because characters who refuse ultimate power are usually the ones destined to inherit it later. Marvel rarely shows cosmic hierarchy unless it plans to break it. And Thor, after losing his purpose as king and warrior, has only one path left: evolution beyond the battlefield. Now think about Stormbreaker. Everyone assumed it replaced Mjolnir, but I don't think it was ever meant to. Mjolnir chose Thor because he was worthy. Stormbreaker responds because he's desperate. The axe is a weapon for survival, not identity. And in Doomsday, that distinction becomes critical. My theory is the final enemy won't be someone Thor can overpower. It will be something fundamental, a collapsing reality, a force erasing existence itself. Thunder won't help. Strength won't help. A warrior god cannot punch the end of existence. And that's where the mythology clicks into place. In Norse legend, Odin gains knowledge by sacrificing his eye. Thor, however, gains wisdom only after losing everything that defined him. So the real power upgrade isn't lightning turning blue or gold. It's Thor realizing fighting is the problem. The moment he stops trying to win is the moment he ascends. This is where the Rune King idea starts creeping in. Not the comic version exactly, but a cinematic reinterpretation. Rune power isn't strength, it's understanding the structure of reality. Odin learned runes by hanging from the world tree between life and death. That detail has never been visually shown in the MCU, but it has been symbolically echoed constantly. Thor floating in space after Infinity War. Thor nearly dying to forge Stormbreaker. Thor revived by lightning after accepting who he truly is. Every major upgrade required him to exist on the edge of death. And Doomsday would be the final step. Not dying, not surviving, but staying suspended between existence and non-existence long enough to understand it. Instead of channeling lightning, he becomes the source that lightning comes from. Not a god of thunder, but the rule that allows thunder to exist. And here's the emotional payoff that makes it heartbreaking. If Thor evolves beyond godhood, he stops belonging to the physical universe. That means he can't stay with love. The daughter he finally found purpose protecting becomes the reason he must leave. Marvel has been quietly building toward Thor, understanding fatherhood not as protection through power, but protection through absence. Odin watched from afar, Frigga guided through memory. Now Thor completes the cycle. His final act wouldn't be killing the villain, it would be preventing future wars by stabilizing reality itself. And no one would see him do it. To everyone else, he simply disappears during the battle. Not vaporized, not defeated, just gone. Because existence doesn't notice the laws that hold it together. Another clue sits in how lightning behaves around him recently. It doesn't just strike anymore, it waits. The storms respond to his emotions rather than commands. That's a subtle shift from control to connection. And if reality in Doomsday begins fracturing, Thor won't attack the fracture. He'll communicate with it, because the MCU has slowly been reframing cosmic power as harmony rather than dominance. The strongest beings don't conquer, they stabilize. Think about the Watcher's perspective or eternity's stillness. Power at the highest level becomes passive. So Thor's final battle becomes the only battle he never actually fights. He stands in the storm, drops the weapon, and lets the lightning pass through him instead of from him. That's not surrender. That's transformation. I imagine the Avengers watching helplessly as energy tears across the sky, expecting Thor to charge. Instead, he walks forward slowly. No scream, no spin attack, no heroic landing, just acceptance. Because for the first time, he understands storms are not weapons. They are corrections. Nature balancing itself, and he chooses to become that balance. The moment lightning strikes him, it doesn't burn him. It erases the boundary between him and the universe. The same way Odin faded into golden particles, but magnified to a cosmic scale. His body dissolves not into death, but into law, and that's why the enemy can't win. You can defeat a hero. You cannot defeat the rule that allows existence to continue. Here's where the Norse prophecy connection hits hardest. Ragnarok always ends with a renewed world, not permanent ruin. Survivors inherit a calmer age. But myths never explain who ensures that stability. I think the MCU answers that question. Thor becomes the unseen guardian of the next era, not King of Asgard, not Avenger, not even deity, a principle woven into reality. Thunder exists because he exists. Storms calm because he wills calm. The sky literally remembers him. And occasionally, lightning shapes itself like a figure holding an axe, just for a second. Not haunting, not sad, comforting. The emotional climax wouldn't be an explosion, but love, hearing thunder on a clear day. She looks up, smiles, and whispers, "Dad." No resurrection scene, no return portal. Because evolution means moving forward, not coming back. Thor finally achieves peace, not by surviving war, but by removing himself as a participant in it. Every arc from arrogance to grief leads here. A warrior seeking purpose becomes purpose itself. So did Thor die in Doomsday? Technically, yes. The individual died, but the god didn't upgrade. He dissolved into something older than gods. The order behind chaos. The final irony being, the god of thunder ends the story by becoming silence before thunder. If you enjoyed unraveling this theory with me, drop a like, share it with a fellow Marvel fan, and subscribe for the next mystery I break down.